Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Spiritual Ranch. I am Shush, no way, the off-grid oracle. Off-grid oracle, let's spit that out. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to the mountaintop behind them trees right there, and welcome back to the forest here. Anyhow, we're right here making a mess today. Yo, Joe has been logging. I guess you could never really explain to somebody that divine feminine was a logger, right? I don't know. Yeah, I had a bunch of these I had to take out in here. These dead ones. They're all dead standing. Yeah, we get questions in the comments occasionally about why I'm doing this to the forest, as if it's a bad thing. Like a lot of people believe that we should just let the forest be or whatever, and then it's just supposed to be like thriving. But really, that theory in itself is kind of tarnished. It's kind of tainted, especially if you're like a believer in the like the Bible, which like I have my feelings about the Bible. But one thing that it does say in the Bible is that we, the human beings, Adam and Eve, were created in order to tend to the garden, right? In order to manage the garden, in order to maintain the garden, and we've been negligent on that. And this is the result of our negligence, because you can see these trees are diseased, and that's why they die. They're dying, and that's why I'm trying to thin out as many as I can. I try to thin out a lot of these little ones, like these guys right here. I'll also thin them out because the insect that is infecting them, it jumps from tree to tree. That's how it does its thing, And so you want to have a distance between the trees so that the beetle then falls on the ground and it gets eaten before it can, because they can't really move. They're not mobile. They just like jump, they hop. And then when they land on another tree, they bore in, and you can see this sap, because like I would take this tree out, but Steve, I think he probably wants to leave it, maybe, because of timber, kind of. But anyways, you see the sap coming out of there? That's because the beetle jumps from one tree to the other one, and then it bores in, and it creates and it makes a larvae. You can see all like the sores on this tree too. It creates larvae inside the tree, and then the larvae eat the tree, and that's what kills the tree. Is that the larvae inside of it? They bore through it, So it's like when I peel the bark back, you can see all these right here. You see these marks right here? That's from the beetle. That's from what's killing it. It's the pine beetle borer, I think is what they call it, or something like that. But you can see over here, because like I talk about how like all of this forest, like the green that you see, the Doug fir, like all over here on the other side of the mountain, if you look, you can see that section there that's like grass and oak. That's oak savanna, and that's how this is supposed to be out here. So back in the 1800s, you didn't see stuff like this stuff right here, this green, that real dark, how it's like all blanketed. That's not natural out here. Same with like right here. They're not even indigenous trees. Those are a fir tree that was transplanted here from Switzerland, and it carries another disease, which is the Swiss needle cast. And the way that you solve the Swiss needle cast is you have to give a lot of space between the trees so that they have air circulation, because it's a fungus, But you can see over here that all caught on fire about 4 years ago, and that's why it looks that way right now. And so without proper maintenance, it's all just gonna look like it's gonna look like that anyways, because that's how it's gonna be corrected by the Most High. Like that's how nature is gonna correct it, is that all these trees will die off like they're doing in here, and then when they die off, they create a bunch of fuel, and then we get a little spark when it's dry out here during the dry season, and then the whole thing goes up. And then it's just like a lot of these forest fires that we've had out here, because there's so much material on the forest floor in the forest, that when they do go up, they burn so hot that they sterilize the forest floor, and they turn into a desert, because it burns so hot that it burns all the organic matter out of the soil, and then that destroys the habitat of that forest forever, turns them into a desert, And so anyways, I'll just try to clear that up, because I don't know, we had a comment. People like to say that, little guy, let's go. They kind of like to say, a lot of people don't understand like what's going on. really with the poor management of Earth and why we got to do certain things like we have to do. You know, it's like out here managing this forest is a good thing. A little piece of moss hanging in front of the camera, see that? Okay, little guy, come here. What up, bro? Oh, little guy. He's been being good. So here you go, little guy. Give little guy a treat. Right. Good boy. Now stick around while I do a read, man. Don't run off, okay? Don't run off, maniac. Ah, don't attack me. That's it. Yeah, excited, huh? He's in a good mood today. The energies have been I don't know. They've been interesting. Kind of tense, you know. I've been feeling a lot of intensity, a lot of you know, and there's a lot of like energies like that. That's squaring planets, like stuff squared. I guess I was listening to that astrologist guy that I listened to. You know, okay, out of there, and so I've been feeling that, just that anxiety. You know, the anxiety and just the you know, it's like with me too. It's like I'm trying to really, because it's so interesting. Like with the way my life is, there's a lot of balance in my life, and there's a lot of decisions made for me by Most High, and so it's like it always works out, you know. And so it's like I don't have any real reasons to have anxiety at all right now, you know. But it's like with the energies that we're working with in the ethers and everything. It's like those energies will pop up, and then it's like you could make reasons, right? Or it's like it's not even like lately. It's not even that I make it. It's just like it tries to come in, you know. And so I've been really feeling that is a lot to do with the collective or the massive right now, the energies of the massive. And as chosen ones, as masters of our destinies, we have to be very focused right now in how we manage that energy, you know. And so don't allow yourself to spiral right now, you know, because honestly, like there is a psyop against us, you guys. Like it's what it is. If we're chosen, I mean, we got to really realize that like everything is frequency, and they got all kinds of ways that they could control the frequency, you know. And so it's like you know, it's like even with the Wi-Fi signals and everything that are going on nowadays, we got to be more aware of the fact that like you know, it's like that people. It's kind of like it's like in the Matrix movie, you know. It's the I guess non-player character, I guess you would have to say, because it's like Mr. Smith, they just turn into like whoever, right? The receptionist behind the desk, or like the cop, or like whoever, right? And all of a sudden they morph, whoop, and they're Mr. Smith, right? They turn into Mr. Smith. Well, that non-player character, they're not the Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith hijacks the non-player character, you know what I'm saying here? And so it's like we have to be fully aware right now of the fact that like it's a strong possibility that they've got ways to manipulate us like that. And those of us who are a little bit weaker and can't really don't have that self-awareness that us the chosen ones have right now, they're easily targeted and they easily become the Mr. Smith. And honestly, nowadays, I think it's remote control. Like I really do. Like I really think we got to be aware of that, because it's frequency, you know. And so that's why I've been like noticing in myself that like identifying emotions that ain't mine in order to not like become the Mr. Smith, essentially, or to not be like, because like with us, we're chosen, so they can't really hijack us, but we get like a low grade feeling of what the individuals feel who do get hijacked. And so it's like right now we have to have a really strong awareness, because like I've been really doing a lot of thinking, reflecting a lot on like my isolation, you know, as a chosen one, because like my path has been as such that I've been very isolated, you know. And so like extremely isolated, and to a degree where it's like, man, what the hell, you know. And it's like things always keep coming up, you know, in my path, where it's like all of a sudden here comes a Mr. Smith. And it's like it side rails things, you know, kind of like with my friend here who recently was unalived, you know, and it's pretty well evident that that's what happened, you know. And it's like I can't help but believe that like they're really watching us out here, like we're really being gang stalked by like the CIA, and like if you're a chosen one and you got a high ranking, they're aware of that. They know who you are. Like they've already charted all this shit, you know. And so we got to be really aware of like how they're attacking us, and not allow their attacks to keep us held back, if that makes any sense. It's like it's our time to shine, you know. And so it's like I feel that like I said, with the I mean, it's pretty out here, you guys, but I really believe this stuff, you know. They recognize our frequency. They recognize your frequency. If you're a chosen one, they know, like the controllers know, you know. It's like they if they could send frequencies out, they could detect frequencies coming in. And so I really believe that we have to be a lot better about protecting ourselves right now, and just be fully aware of that. Even if like we have to be aware that people's actions right now, you might not even be able to fully hold them accountable for their actions right now. You know, it's just like I really am, like, things are just happening so quick, and so much so here lately with this kind of like level of mind control. It's like they show in the movies. It's like, well, I mean, that was the whole deal with the CIA. It's like they could train somebody to where they could just trigger them with the word. And so it's like you could be like just hanging out, but then one little word, and it triggers you, and you'll go do something really crazy, like you go into hypnosis or whatever, you know. And that's how a lot of people nowadays really seem to be, you know. And so it's like we got to move. I'm feeling like less defensively and more aware, you know. It's like, and more like protective. Okay, so it's like we can't be defensive, as in like taking it on as it's ours, you know. So it's like with the anxiety and everything, it's like people are acting weird, you know. They act weird towards me or whatever. They act weird. Well, that makes me feel really sensitive, but that could set me back on my path of ascension, because I need to not be in those anxietal energies, because we can't manifest well with those energies, you know. And so we have to be very aware right now. That's what I'm trying to say, and steadfast in our path. Okay, guys, it's not easy, you know. It hasn't been easy. Like, and like I said too, we have to be masters over our own, like our own domain. We have to really know ourselves very thoroughly right now, in order to ensure that we can't be hijacked, that we can't be a Mr. Smith, and that we can't be confused or like knocked off of our path because of the actions of Mr. Smith through people that we're associated with. We just got to be fully aware, you know, that's going on around us, you know. I needed a little reprieve. Like, things have been so intense, paying attention to like with what all the stuff that's been released, and then just like I said, the energies have been really heavy. And so I watched Karate Kid 3 last night. I needed some Mr. Miyagi in my life. Hey, it worked. It was kind of nice. I got halfway through it, you know. I go to bed about 6:45. I'm sleeping by 7 for sure, you know. And so I got about halfway through it. We'll watch the other half tonight. I think they filmed that up in Oregon too. I forgot, you know, because they have the Devil's Punch Bowl. That's up in Oregon. Kind of cool. I thought it was supposed to be in California, but Devil's Punch Bowl's in Oregon. And so, anyways, look, okay, good boy. We're gonna pull some energies. That was a long jack.